Peoples, what's going on? I am Finesse, and this is the 2024 Indian Motorcycle Challenger Elite. Peoples, what's going on? I am Finesse, and I am here today at the Indian Motorcycle dealership. As you can see, there's a truck behind me. I got a special surprise for you guys today. I'm trying to contain my excitement, but it's not working too well, okay? Just know, today is gonna be a great day.
I say, yeah. Yeah. Like it or love it, it's double or nothing. You ain't getting money, then you bugging. Damn fat, you know I'ma hug it. Lows by the truck, up the budget, cashing it in. Damn, I'm a bucket. OD, you know I overdoes it. If it ain't moolah, we cannot discuss it. Her name ain't Erica, she finna bust it. Her name ain't Megan, but yeah, she a stallion. The way that we dressin' ran out of Italian. New chain bustin', beat the medallion, pull your own troubles out.
This right here is what we came down for. This is Miss Finesse's new ride. I'm gonna open it up. As we're opening it up, you guys are gonna get to see all of this. We're gonna see it real time because I have not seen this bike yet. I don't know what the color looks like. I haven't seen it in person. I've only seen one video, but right now we're about to take this thing, or well, not me, but Indian Motorcycle here in Savannah is about to take this thing out, and let's take a look at it. So when you, I know you probably saw this from when I ordered the Pursuit, but this is the crate that the bikes come in. So it has this outer bag that's on it, and then inside of that there's another bag, and then all of that is attached to these rails. There's I think they're like drop gates. They come down on either side, you know, to get the bike on and off. But we are, I'm just waiting on Chris. He's inside, he's grabbing some stuff, and we're gonna go ahead and then get this thing open and check it out. Man, I'm so excited right now. I'm just like busting at the seams because I'm ready to see this bike. This is one of 375. I do not know what number it is. We'll find that out once we get the bag off. So here we go. All right, zip that off. So when you open these boxes or these bins or however you want to call it, you have your, I believe that's the windshield and some other pieces that you have to put together, but it's not like you have to assemble the bike, you know. So they make it easy on these guys when they're taking this stuff apart. All right, he's got the battery right there. Yep, I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Let me get on the sunlight side.
Ooh, she's pretty. I can see her.
Yeah. Oh, man. Look at that. Elite. Holy cow. Oh, that is just gorgeous. That is gorgeous. So this is going to have the upgraded audio. Of course, we got the unique paint scheme. We have the red wheels, and then we have these closeouts here on the rear. I love those closeouts. This thing is just absolutely gorgeous. And then we got the floorboards here. Of course, you got the backlit controls. Man, this thing is awesome. Look at this seat. Oh, look at that seat. That is nice. This acid stripe, man. That looks so good. I want to say they said how they did it. I can't remember. How they said they did it. Of course, you know, you got your adaptive headlight. I mean, just looking at it like this, even without because you got the console that goes on the top and the windshield. But looking at it like this is like it's just chopped down low. It looks fast just sitting there. So, long story short, when the Pursuit Elite came out, I had a chance to get a Pursuit Elite. But me and Mrs. Finesse were talking, and you know, we were trying to get a pair of bikes that looked the same, that were the same and all that. So we ended up going with the Pursuit that I have. And then, and after I saw the Pursuit Elite, I was kind of upset because that bike is so gorgeous. So when they announced this Challenger Elite, the first thing I did was come down here and see if they had an allocation. And of course, there was this one right here. The guys down here at Savannah Motorsports, man, they are awesome. They're just so great. Boom, just like that, she is out. Yep, so you got that center console. Number 17 of 325. So 225 of these bikes are sold in the US. The other 100 of the bikes are sent worldwide. So it's truly a global brand, and they give those opportunities to those global customers as well. But this is fantastic, man. Number 17. Look at them wheels. Oh, so it's not like a bright, obnoxious wheel. It's got like a darker tone to it. You know, just the Indian motorcycle red. So, but yeah, man, that's cool. All right. Then you got those speakers right there. Some more of them speakers. And like I said, these are the upgraded speakers, so they've got like this soft glow to them. And instead of being, 200 watts, you get 400 watts. So, and then for the Pursuits, they have the chance to get 800 watts. So, I'm really excited to see how this is going to sound. So, again, it being an Elite, there are no stick-on emblems. Everything is painted. Everything's hand painted. This is so freaking nice, man. This is so freaking nice. It's just such a gorgeous bike. Just a gorgeous bike. Yeah, man. So the new bikes, they have their on the bags when it comes in. You get your owner's manual, and you get the tool kit. You also get whatever that is.
That's gonna be the mirrors.
Oh, those are the mirrors.
Yeah.
And then over here is the console for up here.
Yeah, that's the bezel that covers up your vehicles.
Yeah. And then the windshield you already saw because we took the box off the back, and that was the windshield. And then the battery was also up on the front of the crate there. So you don't have to worry about any corrosion during shipping or anything like that. Look at this, man.
I've already taken it to put on the charger. So we always fully charge one when we're doing the PDI to make sure that when you put the bike together, it's got a full charge and all, because you do have to do some computer work to take it out of transportation mode.
All right, yeah, so if you didn't get that, I was moving my mic, so hopefully I got it. But if you didn't, when he took the battery off the crate, they take it inside, they put it on a charger to make sure that the battery's good to go. So when it comes time to install the bike, and, do the PDI and all that stuff, they can make sure the battery is good, the bike is good, and everything else. And I can tell you right now, I mean, this is just the non-maintenance or non-PDI professional looking at this bike, and from the looks of it, it looks pristine. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be spending a lot of time in the garage looking at this thing. All right, so we've got charcoal candy, which is this here, and then you've got the black candy, which is this here. All right, and I love this paint scheme because it's not like loud in your face. It's just so subtle and understated. Like you wouldn't even know until you got up on it, man. Like this thing is just beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. Get a good angle of it. Yeah, there we go. All right, everybody. Here goes Stella. Stella will be finding another home. She did us good. So whoever picks up Stella, man, I know she's gonna treat them good as well. Beautiful bike. That icon, man. That icon is nice. That paint, you know I like that paint. But that paint, well, being as fantastic as it is not an elite, I tell you what. So Mrs. Finesse is on her way up here. We'll get her as well. All right, so now we got the bike out of the crate. Next step is putting the battery in, which is what Chris is doing right here. All right, so if you did not know, the Indian Challengers, the Indian Pursuits, they all have their batteries right up front in this compartment behind the wheel. And it's much better, than I think, than having it under your seat, because you know you got room for other things, the suspension and everything else. But like you would think that it's probably hard to get to, but at least in my opinion, I don't believe it's that hard to get to. I'm not gonna say it's like super easy, but you know, it's a good spot. Let's see, look, now since he put it that way, you know what I'm saying? So he was saying that you don't have to remove the seat or the tour pack and any of that stuff just to get to the battery. I mean, okay, you put it that way, yes, this is way easier. Leave it to the man. All right, so if you guys are wondering why we're outside doing this, so Chris, because the garage is busy, you know, in order to get the PDI done and all this stuff, Chris volunteered to help the garage out. So that's why we're out here, because normally inside they'd be in on a lift, and plus, you know, I wanted to do some recording. So he was kind enough to come out here and put the bike together out here. But we are gonna go inside at some point. It's just as for this portion right here. Well, for one, you got to move the bike, right? So you got to put the battery on it. But that's why we're out here. All right. Don't think that they're going to be putting bikes together out in the yard or anything like that. All right, easy money, man. Just like that, the battery is in. You just got to button up the cover, and that's it. So that was, I mean, that's really quick, really simple, easily accessed. You just got to turn the wheel. All right, so battery's back inside. The windshield is raised up. Now we got to get the console on the top and the windshield, and then after that, hey, we can move her into the interiors. So I don't know if the camera is picking this up. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's because there's a tree behind me, but this has like a greenish, almost a greenish tint to it. Looking at it from this side, so interesting. It's definitely a contrast from the black. You know, in the sunlight you can see it. Otherwise, when you look at it, the bike just looks all black. So, interesting. All right. Got the windshield there. And of course, it's the Elite. So, it's the flared windshield, which between the regular windshield and the flared windshield, I love the flared windshields because you don't have to have it all the way up in order to get that air over your head. Because that little flip, I mean, I mean, it's not even that much of a flip. You wouldn't think that it does a lot, but it really does do a great job at forcing that air over your head, even in the low settings. And obviously, you know, I like it because I switched it on my Pursuit. The windshield on the Pursuit was just so tall, which if you're a 6'1", 6'2" rider, it's going to be perfect for you. But me at 5'9", it was too tall. I was way too hot riding around in the summer with that windshield. However, during these cold months, if I was doing more cold riding, I would probably have that tall one back on because it's blocking all that wind from coming in your face, keeping you a little bit warmer.
And so we're getting putting the windshield on now. I want to show you guys a little trick. A lot of times people, they change out their windshield, they get a new one. The biggest problem people have is they lose bolts down in their fairing, right? So you see all that gap in there. You lose a bolt, you got to take the whole fairing off. So how do we not do that? Get yourself a couple little shop rags and look at where your bolts actually go, right? So I've got 2 bolts that are going on this side, right? I'm going to put a rag in here, right? That's going to protect that. so that if a bolt falls, it's going to fall right in here, right? So I've got one more bolt that's going to be going right here. So all I do is I just kind of bind this up a little bit. So if the bolt falls, it's going to fall right here in the rag. Same thing on the third one right here on this other side. And I set that right in there. So now we set the windshield back on. You see all the places where the bolts go, you're protected. So I'm gonna get one going here so that I can start setting them in place.
Look at that, man. Tips. These are life-saving tips, because I have I have lost one of those myself. I had to come back up here and get a replacement bolt. I still have no idea where it is.
Rattling around in your fairing somewhere.
Hey, if it is, I can't even hear it. and the back of those are not magnetic either.
No, sir.
Yeah, so I tried fishing it out with a magnet. That didn't work.
So I put the first one in the middle and I snug it up a little bit. That way when you put these other ones in, it's a little easier to maneuver around. But you'll see by doing it the way I do it, I don't lose bolts. If they fall, they're gonna fall into this little rag I got right here. So I don't really stress about it too much. You know, the thing is, it's not a great big bolt, so it doesn't take a whole lot and the things will fall. I just wanted to show you guys that tip real quick, as you can see what I'm doing, and we'll get back to you in just a second.
Oh, look here, man, getting everything torqued down to specs. He got one of them fancy torque wrenches, man, make all kind of noise and stuff. I tell you, man, I gotta upgrade. There it is. All right, next up we have the console that has to go on.
So when you go to put these in, you take a look up here. These tabs go into that, right? So a lot of people complain that their bezel's making noise or clinking or whatnot. Make sure those tabs are all the way in. Okay, see that? It's flush and it's smooth all the way across there. If it's flush and you put it in, there's no movement.
Nice, there you go. So you got to make sure that that area right there is nice and flush. You don't see any gaps. Look at that, nice and closed in.
So if on your
this
bike,
area right here.
if you on your bike, you go look at your bike and you see a little gap there, right? Just take it right here, pop, pop, and it'll pop the tab right in place.
Nice.
And you won't get no rattle.
Tell you, man, hey, no rattling. You know I like me no rattling. But yeah, that's awesome. You make sure you got it seated correctly, and then you'll have no issue. All right, so next up we have the mirrors that are going on. And they got these little rubber grommets that got to pop out.
Did I?
did.
What's
Just gotta put it
happening?
together. You're about to get it fired up. So we haven't even started it yet, so you're going to get to do the first fire on it.
So Mrs. Finesse has arrived, and she's going to kick the bike over for the first time. Not that we've been waiting on her to arrive, but it just so happens she got here at the right time. So
Ooh, what number is it?
it's right there on the tank.
017?
Yep, number 17.
Ooh, snaps.
Neutral.
So go ahead and fire it for me.
Oh man, look at that.
Man. It should look good. This is
I'm not upset at all.
You should be upset. I'll let you look at her whenever you want. Looky, but no touchy.
So what we're going to do at this point, so I'm going to take the bike inside. I got to adjust the mirrors, and then I have one of the technicians go ahead and do the computer work on it. Go ahead and fill it up with gas, air up your tires, take it for a test ride. In the meantime, you guys get to go see the money man and take care of that side of it. So we'll see you guys soon.
Are they going to be able to lower it today?
That I don't know.
She's so pretty. So pretty. Dun, dun, dun.
Yet again, Starscream.
Yes, again.
Hey, that's the man.
Oh. Hello.
Hello. How's it going, guys?
Going well. How are you?
All right, so like I said, this is the 2024 Indian Motorcycle Challenger Elite. This particular bike is number 17 of 325. All right, if you're not aware, the way the Elites go, they only put out a certain amount per year, and part of that number, so the 325 for this model, 225 of them are going to be sold in the US. The other 100 are going to be globally. This is number 17 of 325. And the owner of this bike was gracious enough to let me do this review for you guys. I think the 2024 color scheme for this bike is just absolutely gorgeous. All right. That in combination with some of the other features that they've added from previous years just make this bike stand out even more. Okay. The color scheme they chose for this year is the charcoal candy, black candy. And there's this red pinstripe and this silver acid line that goes through the upper part of the bike and the lower and the rear part of the bike. They didn't include that in the name. Maybe they're thinking about shortening it up a little bit because sometimes you can't get into a mouthful, but the way I see it, I don't care, man. Hey, listen to me talk. All right, anyway. But yeah, like I said, the owner, this is not my bike. The owner of this bike was gracious enough to allow me to do this review for you guys. So without further ado, we're going to bring the owner in. All right, so she may look familiar to you guys. So I'll let her I'll let her explain how she came about having this bike.
You know, if you've been watching this journey for a little bit, I started out with the Super Chief Limited. And then I got the Chieftain Dark Horse Icon, and then I got the Scout Bobber Icon. But every time I walk into the dealership, I get the itch, right? And I'm looking at the Challenger, and I'm like, man, I can fit on this thing. I feel it, right? You don't care if you're gonna fit unless you're short. Right? So only short people have to think about this, I think. So am I going to fit? Can I reach the handlebars? Can I reach the brake? Can I reach the gears? So that's always something that's at the forefront of when I buy a bike. And after a lot of sitting, I told Finesse, I'm just like, FYI, I'm getting a Challenger. And he was like, well, what are you replacing? And I'm like, no. I'm adding, right? You can't just trade your kids in. That's crazy. So, spoiler alert, I traded one of my kids in. When the 2024 model was released and I saw what the Elite looked like, I was I was in love. My baby. Like, I've got her. I named her. You know, I would go back to the release video, and I just watch the release video, watch how pretty she was, you know, listen to her. Just you know, I'm in love. So I finally got to pick her up a couple of days ago, and today we put in just under 100 miles in this beautiful weather, and I can say definitively that I made the absolute most perfect decision. Now, I did trade in Stella, my 2022 Chieftain Dark Horse Icon. So traded it in, got this, and man. So in the 100 miles I've put on her, she rides beautifully. The suspension is flawless. The clutch is super, super smooth. The braking is smooth. This audio package is ridiculous. I was just rolling around with my own personal club, 90s R&B, if you're curious. You know, it's just like everything about this was fantastic. I do fit. I'm not 100% flat foot, but I could get most of my foot on the ground. And man, just everything about the ride is just so great, and I definitely enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next ride.
All right, so just like Mrs. Finesse was saying, she did name the bike, and I don't know if it's a coincidence or you know somebody's looking down on us saying, "All right, here you go." But what did you name the bike?
I named her Storm.
Storm. Okay, so welcome everybody. Meet Storm. She's a little wet because all of this rain. Did she cause it? I don't know. Is it a coincidence? Hey, who knows? All right. But needless to say, man, like, you know, beautiful, beautiful bike. What we're gonna do, I'm gonna, you know, it's enough of us talking. You're gonna hear more about this bike here in a little bit, but I'm gonna take you guys through the bike like I normally do, front to back, top to bottom, and we're gonna check out what you get when you get the 2024 Indian Motorcycle Challenger Elite. All right, y'all, so here we have it, the 2024 Indian Motorcycle Challenger Elite. All right, so looking right up front here, you're gonna get a flared tinted windshield. Now, they say it's tinted, but it looks clear, but it's not completely clear. If you were to hold like a piece of glass next to it, this would have a tint, but it's not like a tint like you see on a car, like something traditional. I don't like the blacked out ones because I do like to see, you know, what's in front of me down, you know, like close, you know, you get that. You already can't see your front wheel, so every little bit counts. All right. And then moving down, there are no badging on these bikes. All of the logos and insignias, everything is painted on. Okay, if it's on the bodies of the bike, it's all painted on. These bikes are hand painted. And I know you guys really can't tell, but this charcoal candy really pops in the sunlight, and it's just a gorgeous looking bike. All right. So moving down further, you also get an adaptive headlight from Indian Motorcycle. These little, if you're not familiar with adaptive headlights, which usually people are, but as you lean, this area of the headlight lights up to give you a little bit more visibility on the sides as the bike is leaning over. Of course, you get your Indian Motorcycle headdress. Now on the Pursuit Elite, this is blacked out. Okay, on this bike they have it with the chrome finish on it, so interesting choice. And then of course the elephant in the room, these big red wheels. Now when I first saw the bike, I loved the color scheme, you know, on the body, but I wasn't too sure about these wheels. But when you see these wheels in person, man, they really bring the bike together. Especially when it's rolling. It's just a good looking bike. And of course we've got dual disc Brembo brakes, so there's nothing changed there. Down here you get the Indian Motorcycle driving lights. and these lights really do a good job of lighting up the road. I covered this in one of my previous videos, my 1901 review of my Pursuit, with the way the lights look, both with just the headlight, the high beam, and the headlight and the driving light. So you can check that out if you're curious as to how it looks. These are no exception. These are bright and they work very well. Of course, they're all LED. Moving along the side here, you've got this this silver acid stripe with the red pinstripe that's on there. Really nicely done. And like I said, since these are hand painted, this process, every bike should be a little different. So I'd be curious to see somebody else's bike and what the patterns look like in there. But you know, the chances of seeing another one, I mean, you know, this is probably slim to none. But we'll see. All right. New for 2024. This area of the bike is normally the plastic, like you have here, just a regular hard plastic, but they painted it instead, so it just all flows in together, and that goes all the way across, all the way through here, and even this inner bezel is painted as well to match everything. So you know, I like stuff matchy, and they did a good job in there. Moving over to the controls, this is the Elite, so the Elites get the backlit controls, so nothing different there. On either side, you have your power, your run, your start, your cruise control, your windshield, you have your horn, your high beam pass, hazards, turn signals, your music, and then this is like a cursor, if you will, like you can select different items on your screen, all right, and then you push it in to select. You also have, again, these buttons up here. This is the select button, and the other side has the same one, and it's to cycle through the stuff on the screen. So there's a few different ways that you can go about accessing the ride command system, but we'll get into that here in a bit. Moving on back. So you're going to have your fuel tank continues on with that acid stripe. It goes all the way around the fuel tank. There's also a small little break up here with the black charcoal, or excuse me, the black candy and the charcoal candy. So it's an interesting design. I like the subtle, understated type things that, you know, you have to get up on it to see it, because, you know, it just brings you in. I like the fact that they do that. So this color scheme, it seems like they were reading my mind. One of my favorite color is red. So anytime I see something, and it's weird because I don't own anything that's red, so it's wild. But anyway, moving right along, up here you've got the tank console, and this is going to be standard on some of the other bikes. However, this plate here is what sets it apart. It has your Elite. You get some of this red pinstriping, and then right there is where you get your number. So new for 2024, they are numbering the Elite bikes. But it's really awesome they started numbering these. This is something that, you know, that I thought that should have been done from the jump, and then when I found out that they were going to be doing it for this one, man, that just made it that much more special. And you know, I was glad that Mrs. Finesse said she wanted it, because I was like, man, I don't know, because we were looking at getting something else. But yeah. Anyway, we'll get into that. So moving on back here to the saddlebag. The paint continues down through. You get more of that, the breaking up of the two colors. You get your saddlebag hinge, has a nice Indian Motorcycle logo on there. And this one is raised up a bit, so it's like a stamp, and they have that painted. So has a good feel to it, oddly enough. All right, and of course for the Elites, you're going to get these saddlebag speakers. We'll talk about that here in a bit. All right, so when you open up the saddlebag, you got the Indian Motorcycle logo right there. You also have a 12-volt plug that's down in there. All right, and then of course you have your speaker here, and then you get the same interior space, minus the little bit that's taken up by the speaker there. All right, moving around to the back of the bike. I really like these closeouts. When I had my Challenger, I was trying to find some, but I was not able to do so. And the ones that I did find, they were they were pricey. They were not from Indian Motorcycle, so I don't know how all that went down. But anyways, I'm glad that you get these on the Challenger straight from the factory. I think it cleans up the rear end of this bike so much more than what it does on the normal Challengers. And then you also get the saddlebag lights, which are an option on other trims, but these are standard on the Elites. They are not brake, run, start. They are only running lights. That's it. Or excuse me, brake, run, signal. They are only running lights. That's the one thing that I kind of don't like about it. I do like the shape of it. I think it really brings in the lines of the motorcycle, and continuing on with that light. So there's no break in it when you're just looking at it from afar. And if you want to get the brake, run, turn signals, you'd have to get something like Custom Dynamics lights to do that for your Indian motorcycle. All right, now moving around the side, you've got your derby cover, and it has the red pinstriping around the Indian motorcycle logo. Looks really good. And as well as your Indian motorcycle logo on the tank, that's got the pinstripe around it as well. It used to be, well, I guess it still is, but Challengers have the red ring around the wheel. But obviously, since the wheel is red, there's no need for that. So they still added that pinstriping around in other areas. All right. Now let's look at this seat. All right. So as seat designs go, I don't think it's over the top. I think it's just enough to kind of pull the bike together as well, like along with the wheels. When you're looking at the seat, that's the other thing that's kind of different. It's going to bring you in a bit. So it's not to the point where you're trying to find all these details in the seat that you miss things on the bike. I think it's simple enough and done well enough to where it just looks and it fits with the theme of this bike. Look at this stitching. That stitching is just like, I didn't even see any. Usually you have like a little tag or snag or something where the sewing process stopped. There's none of that. It is just pristine. They do such a really good job with these Elites, man. All right, now looking around at this audio system. So these speakers, these are the new power band speakers for 2024. They have a glow feature that is backlit behind the tweeter there. And I was kind of unsure about how it was going to look, but it really makes, it looks good. It's not too bright, but it's not that low to where you can't see it, because at night you can really see these things light up. It's kind of dark out here. Maybe you can see it. You can just barely see. And then when I turn it off right here, well, it still stays on for a little bit. But I think you could barely see the light up. But I have a picture of it that I posted earlier. Really good looking. So with that, this system, the new power band system, is a 400 watt system with the two fairing speakers and then the two saddlebag speakers. If you get a Pursuit with the audio package, you now get 800 watts. So you'll have the 400 watts here, then you'll get another 200 watts for your lowers and 200 watts in the tour pack. But I mean that has to sound absolutely crazy, because this 400 watt system on this bike, like Mrs. Finesse said, it's a rolling concert, but it's not like obnoxious, man. Like it has good clarity and good mids. If you're sitting still and you got it low, I mean, you're gonna hear a bit of that bass in there too. But like I said, you got to be sitting still. It's got to be down low enough because the system automatically adjusts some of the levels so that you don't blow out your speakers. So you can turn it all the way up if you want. And from what they're saying on the website, the system adjusts to where it's not going to blow your speakers. Now, me personally, I'm not going to be turning it all the way up. Because when I was on it, I think I had it at 6. I think that was probably about the loudest I went with it. And you have zero problems hearing that. This audio system is all that and then some. It really sounds good.
Va cogiendo el filé, yeah. Le gusta la verde, le gusta entonar. Aquí estamos chile, yeah. Party, 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 nos ponemos farria. Nos encanta el perreo, yeah, yeah. Hablan mucho, mucho, pero ¿dónde están los haters, baby? Que no los veo. Los dos en la pista, esto se puso feo. Check, check. Duro, 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 pam, pam. Le gusta lo malo, lo underground. Duro, 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 pam, pam. Suri no queda al que sea en primer round. Duro, 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 pam, pam. Le gusta lo malo, lo underground.
All right, everybody. That was the 2024 Challenger Elite, number 17 of 325. All right, so tell me what you think about the bike. Do you think they did it on the Challenger this time around? Me personally, I think they did, but let me know what you guys think. Also, if you're looking for an Elite, which one are you looking for? Are you looking for the Challenger? Are you looking for the Chieftain? Are you looking for the Pursuit? What do you want to see on the next ones? Because I think it'll be the end of the year before the Pursuit and the Chieftain come out. So we got some time. We got some time to speculate. So, like I said, I'll tell you, man, the audio system, great. The wheels, great. The paint is great. And the exclusivity with the Elites is just top notch. So, by any chance, if anybody has bike number 16 and 18, I'd be curious to know where you guys are at. As well as, you know, send me some shots of the bike, send me your thoughts about the bike. I really like the way Indian Motorcycle keeps these bikes modern and just looking good, man. And I was watching Mrs. Finesse on that ride we did today. Man, she looked tough. She looked so tough on that bike, man. Golly. Just a good looking bike. All right. The next video is going to have all the details, the rest of the details about the giveaway for the extra large Indian Motorcycle modular helmet and the Cardo Pack Talk Duo. So that is coming up. I had to pause a little bit because I wanted to get this video out to you guys. But yeah, tell me what you think about the bike. Keep supporting the channel. I keep bringing you guys content. And the goal is to do it bigger and better than what we did last year. And right now we are on a roll. So I'll keep you guys in the loop, man. But just like that, hey, ride every day. And most importantly, make sure you're enjoying it. Peace.
Pam, pam. Le gusta lo malo, lo underground. Yeah. Duro, 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 pam, pam. Suri no queda al que sea en primer round. Duro, 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 pam, pam. Le gusta lo malo, lo underground.